If I were a beginner UGC creator, here's exactly how I would price out my rates going into 2025. Setting your rates as a beginner is definitely intimidating, but don't worry, I got you. My name's Julie, and I'm a UGC creator and coach. I decided to start UGC instead of going back to work after my mat leave was over, and now I run a very successful online business all because of UGC. And I'm here to help you do the same, so save this video for later because you're gonna wanna refer back. Beginner UGC creators, you're gonna be setting your rates at $100 to $200. Hear me out. I know you're thinking your time is worth something. And yes, that's true, but it's only worth something to you. Now, one of the things you have to learn as a UGC creator is always to look at your content objectively. And if you are brand new, no experience, there's a good chance that your content might not even be worth that $100, but you still got to get paid something. And good news, it's only up from here. I recommend for all my students who are brand new, and I mean no experience, that they actually sign up for all the apps where you can just apply to opportunities. I will link them below, but this gives you more time to focus on the things that are actually going to make you be able to charge more, which is building your skills and building your personal brand. And before we talk bundles, I just want to remind you, this is your starting rate, which means this is for organic content, probably somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds. Anything more than that, your rate is going to increase. Now, I don't offer any discounts unless they're buying packages of 3 or more. So whenever brands are buying a package, it's always good to throw in a little bit of a discount. So based on where you're starting at that 1 to 200, your prices are definitely going to vary, but 15% for 5 videos. And then if you're starting getting into like 10 videos, you can offer maybe 20 or 25% discount. Paid media is where the real money is at. Now, this price here, that is for organic concepts. So paid media is when the brands put money behind your content to push it out on an ad, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. You are going to charge usage rates, and you are going to charge at 20 to 30% of your base rate per month. Here's an example. If you charge $150 as your base rate plus 25% is an extra $37.50 per month. So you're almost up at $200 for 30 days usage rates. Now, there is another option, which I have been using for the past 8 months that clients are absolutely loving, which is actually to have 90 days usage rates bundled into your base price. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I specialize in creating ads. My base rate for ads is $450 US. It includes the 90 days usage rates. They are really, really loving it. So I would highly recommend thinking about having like a 60, 90 day, 90 seems to be the sweet spot where brands are really loving, included into your base price for ads. Now, my organic pricing is a little bit lower than my ad pricing, but I actually don't do a lot of organic. I do mostly ads because you can make more and work less. There are other things that you can charge extra for in your UGC concepts, and trust me, these will increase your prices so quickly, especially if you got the usage rights or perpetuity. Perpetuity, I actually charge double my base rate. I don't offer it on content that contains my children, but for myself, I don't really care. Hooks, $50 per hook. This also goes for CTAs. So if a brand wants an extra CTA and an extra hook, it would be $100. Now, 1 CTA and 1 hook is included, so you're only charging for the extras. Raw footage. You ever heard a brand say, we'll handle the editing, no editing required, as if they're doing you a favor? No. You are charging extra for that raw footage. It's actually incredibly valuable. And when brands are saying that, they're actually trying to take advantage of the fact that you might not know how valuable raw footage is. So yes, it does save you time in the fact that you don't have to edit. But if you have to label everything, you bet your butt that takes almost the same amount of time as editing. So for raw footage, you are going to charge 50% of your base rate. So if you charge $100, you're going to charge $150. If you charge $200, you're going to charge $300. They can create multiple different pieces of content from your raw footage. So that is super, super valuable, and you will always charge extra. Why would you charge extra for kids and pets? Well, it's a lot more difficult when you have to include other people and when you have to include pets, especially when you're working with children. I always make sure it's a product they're gonna like, and I always make sure that brands can have flexible delivery dates because I do not force my children to film if they're not feeling it. Of course, working with your pets can also be difficult. It adds a level of difficulty to your UGC concepts, so you need to get paid for the extra hassle. If you're required to film at your house or maybe go to a grocery store after, charge extra. That is more time out of your day, and you need to be compensated. Now, depending on how far away the second location is. Like if you live 45 minutes from a store, you might want to charge $100 extra for that. I happen to live pretty close to a lot of stores, so I only charge $50. Make sure to hit that follow button for more UGC tips, upping your rates, and thriving as a UGC creator in 2025. If you're ready to get serious about UGC, you can always join my UGC school community for $40 a month. UGC Real, we have over 50 videos, tutorials, and templates for everything, community chat, and live Q&As every single week, where half is a Q&A and half is a mini lesson every single week. And you can join now with the link in my bio.